Hey there, it's your girl Gretchen. In today's conversation about narcissistic personality disorder, I thought I would do a little departure and kind of go back to the basics. Like, the whole disorder is based on being extremely self-centered, right? So they have tactics that they'll use to cover that up, or things that look like they aren't self-centered as a way to ultimately serve themselves. So they wear the mask because they know that if they behave the way they really want to, people won't respond to them. They manipulate you to ultimately get a reaction that they're looking for. It's a long game. There's a lot of energy invested in it. But sometimes they just are just so self-centered too. So I thought I'd break up my content a little bit, give you a couple of anecdotes that happened particularly for me during the discard and smear campaign phase. The first one was the night that my ex-husband left me. Imagine, if you will, we hadn't had a fight in about 6 months. I was the very peak of my busy season for the job that I had. It was 9:43 at night. I remember because I looked at the clock. I was still wearing my dirty workout clothes from the gym, and I was just getting started making dinner. And he says to the back of my head, "I'm leaving you, I'm moving out, and I'm filing for divorce." Which, of course, I was completely gobsmacked. So as you can imagine, if you're in that situation, you have a lot of questions that come to your mind and a lot of just like different types of reactions internally. I can tell you the one thing I didn't need to hear was what his future relationship plans were. But he did follow that up with, "And I'm never getting married again." Like, oh, thank you so much for telling me that. To this day, he still has never told me why he left me, but I knew immediately whether or not he planned to ever get married again. So, oh, shoo. Like, we've all been on both sides of a breakup before. And I just have never been in a situation where I felt like the person I was breaking up with really needed to know what my future relationship goals were, like as a part of the breakup conversation. I've also never been broken up with before and thought to myself, man, I would really like to know whether he plans to marry somebody someday. So stupid. The other thing was I was seeing a therapist. Oh, my cheeks hurt from it's just so ridiculous. I was seeing a therapist. It was about maybe a month or so before the divorce, like the actual court date was scheduled. So we were 6-7 months into the time after he had left. And because I didn't know why my marriage was ending, I was seeing this therapist to kind of help me get through it. And we decided to have him come to one of my meetings with her. And maybe if he explained it to her, then she could kind of help me going forward. That clearly didn't happen. And once she met him, she was like, I remember her being like, oh. But the thing that came up during that time was he reflected back on a conversation we had. He worked a corporate job full time, and then he had this performance hobby that took up quite a bit of his time. And during our marriage, at one point, he was gone so much pursuing this hobby that I actually asked him, please, not to schedule more than 5 nights a week away from the home, and not more than 3 nights in a row. Like, it was happening more than that so often that I had to ask him to scale it back to that. And of course, he was trying to explain to me like the balance that he likes to have in his life. And I said, well, I don't get anything out of this hobby of yours, which is normal. Like, people don't pursue hobbies because somebody else would benefit from it. Like, that's normal. So anyway, he comes to this therapy appointment, and in the 2 hours that we were there, that he talked kind of the whole time, he's like, and you said you don't get anything out of my performance hobby. You said that. It was like I was going to deny it or something. Like, it was such a shameful thing to say to somebody that I would be like, I never said that. I was like, yeah, I totally said that. And the fact that I even had to is so weird. I still honestly don't know what the shaming aspect of that was. Like, when you don't agree with somebody, you can at least usually understand like what they're trying to say. But that one, it stumped me this whole time. I mean, this is 5 years ago, and I'm still like, I really don't know what I was supposed to feel about that, because like, duh. So that's all I had today. I would love to hear your one-off situations where your narcissist let their mask slip and like said the most selfish, self-centered thing in the world. Have a great day.